Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a filing that's a bit like a corporate choose your own adventure book, but instead of dragons, we have shareholder votes and deadline extensions. Get ready, because this one has plot twists. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come say hi. So, what's the big deal? This filing is all about Eureka Acquisition Corp, a special purpose acquisition company, also known as a SPAC. It's like they're saying, we're looking to buy a company, but we haven't picked one yet. The important part here is they were asking shareholders to extend the deadline for when they have to find someone to buy. They needed more time, like when you need a few more minutes to finish a test or you lose. Scroll form TIFF 8K scroll. This document is a form 8K, which sounds like a robot from a sci-fi movie, but it really just means the company is reporting something important that happened. In this case, it's about a shareholder meeting where they voted on some key stuff. It's dated June 30, 2025, so things are happening. Scrollers Kef's report, date of earliest event reported. June 30, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2025. This is the day everything really went down. Keep this date in mind as we dig into this document. They wanted to change their company rules to give themselves more time to find a business to buy. They are like, hey, finding the perfect match takes time, right? Basically, they needed to get shareholder approval for this extension. Imagine needing permission from a group of friends to postpone your wedding. That's pretty much what's happening here. Scroll item 7507. Submission of matters to a vote of security holders. Strange scroll this part tells us about what went down at the shareholder meeting, basically saying that shareholders had their say on some important company stuff. It reports on what the shareholders voted on, like a school election, but with more money involved. On the day of the meeting, May 23, 2025, there were over 6 million Class A shares and over 1 million Class B shares floating around. These are essentially pieces of ownership in the company, like having tickets at an arcade, but for a company instead. Scroll thick. Final results for the matter submitted to a vote of the company's shareholders at the extraordinary general meeting are as follows. Scroll Kip, here's where we get the scoop on the voting results. What did the shareholders actually decide? Did they agree to give the company more time, or did they say time's up? Scroll 1, the Charter Amendment proposals. The first proposal was all about giving the company more time to complete a business deal. They wanted to push the deadline back, hoping to find the perfect company to merge with. The shareholders had to approve the switch or not, and they did. Scroll 2 to D5 to complete Quantity D complete Gauge, a business combination by July 3, 2025. But they asked to move that deadline, and this change could let them keep searching for a whole year longer to July 3, 2026. That's a significant amount of extra time considering they are hoping to find a deal which takes time. Now this is the juicy part. This tells us how the vote went down. Over 4.8 million shares voted for the extension, which means they supported the change. About 1.6 million shares voted again ST, showing they didn't want to give the company more time, and 1,500 abstain, meaning they did not pick any side. So the extension was approved. The shareholders also voted on who would be the company's independent auditor, sort of like choosing someone to grade their financial homework. They approved Markham Asia CPI's LLP for both 2024 and 2025. Here the results of the auditor appointment vote is shown. Over 4.8 million voted in favour, with about 1.6 million against and none abstained. This is usually a routine vote needed for companies to checkmark. Scroll Adam E8L1, other events, pan scroll. Chem scroll. Piskia is where there are some aftershocks from the votes. Because of this vote, some shareholders decided to cash out their shares, which changes the number of shares the company has. Scroll 3 of 38,022 to Class A ordinary shares of the company were rendered for redemption. 10 scroll Kaif, a big chunk of shareholders, 3,320 gate 7222 to be exact, wanted their money back. They cashed in their shares because of the extension vote, basically saying, if you're taking longer, I want out. As a result, the company has fewer shares out on the market, like losing some tickets. Scroll item SETA 901 EPSIO, financial statements and exhibits. Scroll Kif, this segment lists out the exhibits, which are essentially attachments that offer supporting documents to the main report. One of them is the document that has made all those changes to the company's rules that we just talked about. Here's one of the exhibits. It's the newly updated company rulebook showing all the changes they voted on. It's dated June 30, 2025. It's like the final version of a contract. So let's step back and look at the big picture. This company needed more time to find a company to buy, and they went to their shareholders to get their agreement. It is not unheard of for SPACs to need to extend their runways. Searching for a suitable business partner is serious and time-consuming. The shareholders gave them that time, but a large amount of them decided to pull their investment instead and cash out, leaving the company with a lot fewer investors. Looking at Eureka Acquisition Corp's direction, there are some positives and negatives to consider. On the plus side, receiving an extension means they can continue looking for deals. On the other hand, those share redemptions are never a good look because they leave the company with less capital. In conclusion, Eureka Acquisition Corp is pushing things back to search for a longer potential target. Keep an eye on what kind of acquisition they manage to dig up in the next year. This sector is volatile, so keeping tabs on these companies means we can see what happens over time. Alright, that's our breakdown for this 8K filing. What do you think of Eureka Acquisition Corps? Do you think they will score a deal in the next year? Or do you think they will fall short? Drop your opinions and theories down below in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, remember to smash that like button. Also, don't forget to check out our growing Discord section in the video description where we discuss the stocks and sectors. Thanks for decoding the markets with me, and I'll see you in the next one.